William, thank you for being with us. Behind you, I see some of the National Guard troops that you were with earlier. Tell us about the mission, what you saw.
Well, we came out today with a group who are principally doing water rescue, and they brought in these Mark II boats that are meant to normally build floating bridges, but they've been deploying them all in this area, trying to rescue people out of their homes. We went out on the boat, and what they were trying to do was to rescue one of their colleagues who had been on a prior rescue mission. That boat then got pushed by the current. I don't know if you can see in the background here, but there is a torrent of floodwater receding south, trying to get back out to the Gulf. And one of those boats got trapped in a forest. So we went out to try to get them out. We went through, and basically we are riding one of these boats where boats are not meant to be. It's a forest. We are just on the side of the highway, and just to the left of us, you could see all the time highway signs. You could even make out the highway markings. But the current of this is so strong that we eventually were able to get this boat out by just ramming it. It was almost like bumper cars. These are very sturdy boats. They bumped this other vehicle out. It got freed. And then as we tried to get out, we ourselves got trapped. And another vehicle had to come and try to get us out. It was a bit of a chaotic scene. But I think what it gives you is just a bit of a sense of how chaotic and unpredictable and difficult rescue recovery can be.
Ultimately, William, how did your boat get free?
Well, we're stuck in the forest, and then another boat comes up alongside us, and after banging basically back and forth against trees and branches, we were able, it took about 20-25 minutes to get ourselves slowly extricated out. I mean, you have to imagine putting a boat in the middle of a forest with thousands of gallons of fast-rushing floodwater pressing you against the trees, and you're trying to navigate in a place that is not a navigable waterway. I mean, it was just very, very difficult. Every time we would bang into a tree, a sort of a rain of ants would fall down into the boat, and people were getting bitten. I mean, it was a fairly hairy scene, but eventually another boat was able to tie onto us and slowly bang in and drag us out, and we got out.
Yeah, multiply that over many hundreds of square miles covered by water, and you get an idea of the challenges faced by all these first responders, and in this case, National Guard troops. Who were you with? Tell us about the crew.
Exactly. Well, the National Guard are what we know colloquially as weekend warriors. I mean, the guys in our boat were a kid in college, a guy who manages a restaurant, a guy who works in an oil rig, actually a journalist at a local news station was also one of the guardsmen. And these guys, when they get the order from the governor, they just drop everything that they're doing, give up their lives, and come out to serve and try to help their fellow Texans. As one of them said to me today, this is Texans helping Texans. And I said, you know, is it difficult just letting go of your lives? Like, some of these guys have damage to their own homes, and yet they are here miles away trying to help other people. And I said, do you wish you were back home? And he said, no, my wife knows that if I were back home, I mentally would still be out on the rescue mission. So it's better that I'm out here trying to help my colleagues.
That attitude impresses me so much. Do you get the sense, though, that they're getting weary as time goes on here?
Not yet. I think that the rescue effort is still in its early days. I mean, they have not been getting out into these areas for really about a day and a half. So I think until they really feel that they've exhausted all the things that they do, because in the end, what they're really trying to do is to get to places where people might still be trapped that we just don't know about. People who have lost power, people who have no phones, and that is what's really driving this whole sense of mission out here.
As you stand there on Interstate 10, I'm reminded of the challenges of just getting around an area that is affected by the flooding after a hurricane. Give us a sense of what you experienced just today doing what you needed to do to get to this particular assignment.
Well, we left Houston this morning, and Houston has largely drained. I mean, there are still some spots that are wet, but the bulk of downtown Houston is dry, and the city's starting to come back. As you come further east here towards the border of Louisiana, you really start to see where the flood has not receded yet. We drove through water constantly. There were roads. We were rerouted 3 or 4 different times. You'd see houses out in the middle of a field completely surrounded by water, like a small island sitting out there. We saw longhorn steer drowned on the side of the road. I mean, it's just a very surreal experience. We saw an armadillo racing away from floodwater, stray dogs walking around. So just a very eerie scene out here, as this area being a day or two from where Houston is a few days ago.
William Brangham is in Beaumont, Texas. Thank you.
You're welcome, Miles.